What's going on, guys? Chris with Deskhaus. Happy Saturday. We're in the warehouse just doing a little bit of work, but figured we would do this quick video. Maybe it won't be so quick. Just talking about why we don't really work with influencers, creators, and TikTokers. You can keep going, it's fine.
Oh, it is going.
It's going? Okay, we'll keep it rolling. Anyways, we don't work with any of them. We've worked with one, and that was happenstance because he happened to be in our city one time visiting another company. That company knew us and said, hey, you should check them out. And this is honestly, I'm sure you guys know that if you're watching this video. But we really don't work with a lot of other ones because, in our opinion, they kind of just go with whatever the flavor of the week is. Like, hey, who's going to pay us $5 grand to make a sponsorship video, or $1,200 for this short, and then next week they're pitching somebody else's desk. So it's not really like what's the best desk, which we honestly feel like is ours. But just a couple weeks ago, an influencer that happened to pay full price for our Grand Haven desk in 2023 released a video comparing 7 desks, and they brought up some stuff about us, which I don't think was really fair, and we can talk about that later. But across the board, pretty much everything in that video was just like a false statement after false statement, whether it was autonomous or even the Flexi Spot who they were making the video for. And so I just want to run that through. I really want to stress, like, we're not against people making videos. We're not against influencers making videos. I get it's another economy or for somebody to make a living. But what I really want to stress right here is, like, at least do your research. Like, when a company reaches out to you and says, hey, we want to sponsor a video or give you a desk, when you make a 20-minute long video calling this desk over here a metal desk, like the metal is it's metal when it's not, like, you're doing a disservice to anybody that's actually interested in that desk by just spewing false information. So again, I might get a little irritated as I go through this because I think as you watch, you're probably going to get a little more irritated too because of how wrong this whole video is. But let's just start over here for a second. I'll put the link down below. The person their name is Switch and Click, and this is the video. We're just going to play the intro, and then I'm going to quickly just try to go through everything. Let's see.
I'm testing 7 standing desks from 7 different companies. I'm gonna tell you what to look out for as someone who has over $6,000 worth of standing desks. Yeah, I've got a problem. So I got some of these desks through sponsorships on the channel, and some of them I bought myself in my journey to find the perfect setup and the perfect standing desk. Out of the 7 I've tested so far, some are good, some not so good, and only a few are great. So today, we're starting with the cheapest of the desks. I tested a $100 desk from a company.
Okay, so intro-wise, like, there's nothing wrong with that. You think that person is, like, trusting. You think like, what they're going to tell you is going to be honest and accurate. And as you go through, and maybe this is a good point to maybe just pause the video and maybe just watch it in its entirety. But
I didn't know that standing desks could actually get this cheap until recently. Normally, they're in the $300 to $500. You mentioned the and you start leaning on the desk, it starts to feel pretty weak. Not to mention the material of the desk itself feels cheap. Now, I don't want to go too hard on the negatives. The thing is $100, but what surprised me the most is that it wasn't even that bad. I think I expected some rickety desk that would barely work, but instead, it's passable. It even has cable management built into the back. The controller is super easy.
Okay, and just like she said, like, it's $100, so it's really hard to, like, attack it, and I'm not going to do that either. But what she fails to mention in the video is, like, the seated height and the standing height. So there's 2 individuals at this company, Betty, and I believe his name is Jake. Now, Betty is on the shorter side. So this $100 frame is not going to be low enough for her ergonomic position without buying, like, a footrest for your chair or something like that. So $100 quickly turns into a lot more. And then for Jake, in the video, it shows it at max height, and Jake is pushing it, and his elbows are like this. It's not even going to be tall enough for him. So $100 or not, again, not going to bash it, but, like, for $100, it's not even worth it because you're not going to get out of it what you're trying to do, which is stand and be ergonomically correct. So, like, again, don't want to hate on this $100 desk for some. All I'm trying to say is, like, just save your money and don't buy that desk. If you want a standing desk but can't quite afford one yet, then I would just recommend save instead of buy something that's just not going to fit your needs, and ultimately you're probably never going to use. Okay, so next one. This one, oh darn. Let me raise this up while we get to the next one.
Down, and it works. Now, I wouldn't recommend it if you want things about it. We wanted to use it for our streaming setup, but instead it became a desk we use for projects like building our server or just general tinkering. Sometimes it's storage for junk. So I thought the desk was super cool at first because it came completely made out of metal. You heard me right.
Oh wait, let me let her play this really quick.
From the legs to the top to the cable management tray are metal. That sounds cool. That sounds great. It's the Autonomous Smart Desk 5 Pro, and it comes.
I really like this desk, but even on the website of what she just showed us, it says MDF or HDF. This top is not metal. See all those wood shavings? This is a fiberboard. This is not metal at all. And her biggest gripe about this is the fact on there, she says, we want to be able to do cable management stuff and, you know, attach things to the undersurface. You can do that. Like, you can totally do this. And like, this is a competitor, guys. Autonomous Smart Desk 5. I actually really like this desk. I don't like what she mentions in the video, that the hand switch is mounted on the surface. I've always been against that because I think it just, you know, you end up covering it up or it just accidentally triggers. I love the cable management on this. You know, she knocks it because if you're constantly going at it, but if you set up your desk, you're setting it up and then you do it once. For somebody that maybe needs to reset things up because they're a streamer or there's something like that, that's a different use case. But to totally like knock a really fantastic, in my opinion, cable management system because it doesn't work for your specific use case, I don't really think that's valid. And the fact that, you know, this was a sponsored desk. So you took money from a company and you now just made a video that says that their top is metal. Like, it's not. And there's nothing that says it is. And it's just, that would suck if Deskhaus gave you a desk and then you just made a 16-minute video that said, oh, but I didn't like their thing because their desktop was metal, and it's not. So back to the whole influencer thing, and it just goes on to talk about the fact that, like, hey, I'm getting money for this week, or I'm getting money to make this video. It doesn't really matter, and like, I don't even have to really research it. I can just make a video and collect an affiliate commission, which again is upsetting because I actually really like this desk. The reason that the feet aren't on this desk is I pulled these columns apart because I was kind of blown away for a 2-leg desk of how stable it was. Now, it is not as stable as a 4-leg desk, or I would say even close, but in terms of a 2-leg desk, I thought this column design was really, really good. The one drawback though, this is like a painted surface top. It's actually powder coated. It's gonna scratch pretty easily. So had she said that, that would have been really useful. But instead she said it was metal, which it's not. This one really kind of upset me. Let's just keep going on.
At almost $600. This one's a little pricier, but you know what? Metal ain't cheap. The idea of an all-metal desk sounds great because it's ultra sturdy. It has zero wobble and it feels near indestructible. It feels like it's gonna last forever, but metal comes with a downside. If you ever feel like you want extra storage on your desk, guess what? To install a drawer, now you have to drill through metal. Now I know some of you are really into DIY and you're probably gonna say,
okay, obviously, no metal. Don't have to do that. Next desk. This is the sponsorship. Jarvis.
and it's held up.
Nothing. All right, hopefully we didn't say that. It doesn't say their name. Anyways, nothing really to say here. She talks about the Jarvis. I'm just talking because I want to save a little bit of time on this video. Jarvis was bought by Herman Miller. The biggest thing about it was that Herman Miller, when they bought fully, they just raised the price. They didn't change it. That's basically her biggest critique of it. Go watch, again, guys, I think anyone should just watch that video and then maybe come watch this. But for all y'all that agree, and just like she said, it's a really good desk but expensive, Our Peak 2-leg is suspiciously very similar, and it's $385. So you could take her word for it for being a good desk, and you could just go over to our website and buy a Peak 2-leg, and you could save a ton of money. All right, let's go next desk. FlexiSpot E7.
It's the FlexiSpot bamboo standing desk. They sent it to us in an exchange for making a short on it, and with the bamboo top, it retails at around $490. So being made of bamboo, it's definitely different than the other desks that I've tried. The bamboo top is a lot more light.
Nothing much really to say here, except again, sponsored one. She got it for free. And FlexiSpot also is sponsoring a future video. But on the website, it says honeycomb. So I think the core of it is honeycomb core, and then it's laminated with the bamboo like veneer on top. I don't know. I wasn't sponsored to make a video, but if I was sponsored to make a video, I would probably figure that out. So to go back to the autonomous desk, is if you did actually want to mount drawers or things like that, if it was a honeycomb core, you would not be able to actually mount drawers underneath. Just like a lot of folks that buy those IKEA countertops and then they have honeycomb cores, so you can't really, besides just along the edge, mount anything because there's nothing that's going to hold the screw.
Then it's laminate.
All right, next one.
Which makes I think it looks really good. It's the Vernal desk, and it costs $460. So there's a couple good things about this desk. I really
don't really have anything to say about Vernal. I know they're made by Kaidi. I don't think in my notes I said anything about them. I actually made a post on Reddit. I'll link all y'all to, or somebody else made a post on Reddit, and then I just had a long comment. So I'll link that below, and I printed that out. Yeah, we haven't tested Vernal directly. We know their base is made by Kaidi, and for a 3-seg 2-leg desk, it's from just Kaidi testing. It's pretty average stability. It's not poor. It's not great either. So don't have anything to knock them there. I think it's a really good value for your money there. I would personally think that the value of that would be better than like the FlexiSpot E7 with that bamboo top. That said, I would never buy that because I want to buy something once and have it for a lifetime. It's why we run Deskhaus. It's why we sell, super stable desks. But I mean, if you're watching this video, you know I'm partial to our company. But let's get focused, Chris. Focus, because I want to get out of here too. All right, next desk. Oh, our desk.
So out of all the desks I bought, this next one was the biggest splurge. I'm pretty sure it costs more than every desk in this video combined. So it's the Deskhaus Apex Pro with a solid wood walnut top.
Okay, she didn't buy an Apex Pro with a solid wood top. She bought a Grand Haven desk that is a package deal of all that. And the reason I want to highlight this is it kind of plays into what she talks about next, is what she would do again.
So nice. We picked up this desk because we wanted something really nice and really big for filming videos on.
I want to pause here and just note this. If you guys see these cables hanging right here with her power cord hanging right there, also the 3-in-1 is not really meant to be right there. But again, the biggest thing I want to point out is this right here.
We got the 30-inch by 72-inch size, and I have to admit, this table is absolutely gorgeous. It's from a real tree with all the little imperfections. They filled them up, and it's just so nice. It's so nice. We treated it as a proper business investment because we wanted to film the desk in every single video, and hundreds of videos later, I can say the investment has paid off. But if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it a little differently. So Deskhaus is often known as a premium brand because their standing desks come with 4 legs instead of 2, which adds more stability, especially when desk gets really tall. And when you're buying such a huge solid wood top, you're gonna want the extra support because if this thing tips over, it's gonna hurt. But I feel like my experience with the product over the past few years leaves a little bit to be desired. For example, during one of our moves, the controller on the desk broke, which I'll admit was my fault and not theirs. So when we reached out to them, they charged us $50 for a new controller, which if it was some cheap or middle of the road standing desk, I'd understand. But when you spend over $3,000 with a company on a premium desk, you expect a bit more of a white glove treatment, and I was hoping they'd just offer to replace it for free. But they didn't, which is fine, but I paid a lot for this desk. So I wasn't super happy with that, but I bought the thing anyways. And
okay, I just want to read you what she wrote us. She said, "Hi, I bought a Grand Haven desk about 3 years ago and the paddle to adjust the height broke on me recently. Is there any way I can purchase another one?" Brady. Good afternoon, Betty. Thanks for reaching out. You can purchase a replacement handset on our website. We have our smart paddle and Bluetooth programmable. The smart paddle is more aesthetic option, and the printer kind of cut this off, and is an updated version of her current one. Since she bought it in 2022, the smart paddle design was slightly different then. We still have a smart paddle, it's just a little bit nicer looking. So that's what he's implying there. If you have any questions, please let me know. I don't really think anything was wrong there. She reached out and asked us if she can buy a hand switch, and we allowed her to. I can understand the argument of I spent a lot of money, so I should be getting something for free, which actually, as I just said that, I think that proves to anybody that says that. You're not entitled to anything because you broke something. Had she reached out to us and said, hey, is there any way you can send me a new one? We take everything case by case, but ultimately at the end of the day, she broke it. And she asked to buy a new one. So we just said, okay. I mean, we do a lot of customer service every day, and Brady's got hundreds of emails he goes through every day. Somebody asked a simple question and Brady just replied and gave them the answer that they were asking for. And then there's also, I've read some folks saying, oh, it's only a $5 switch. They charged her $50, which is how much we charged her for it. It's not a $5 switch, it's $23. And that's $23 to not even our warehouse. So after spending $23, we then have to get it to our warehouse. We then have to have somebody inbound it, put it away, put it in inventory. And then when we sell it, we then have to have somebody pick it, put it in a $4 box, and then spend anywhere from $10 to $15 to ship it to them. So ultimately, just cost of goods at that point, we're close to $40. And that's not even including the time to get it here, inbound, like put it in our inventory, pull it from inventory. So for those saying do her a solid and at least do it at cost, we did do her a solid. We didn't make any money on selling her replacement part that she broke. So that's the one thing. But again, keep in mind what I said about those cables dangling.
I've had some problems with the motors of the desk not working, where if I want to reach the upper ranges, I have to keep making it go up and down to get it to go up. It's definitely starting to have more and more issues pop up. And
so she bought this desk, I'm coming this way. She bought this desk in 2022. She's had it for 3 years. And now we reached out to her after this video, because one, I didn't even watch the video, but we were told that, hey, somebody made a video, you should offer them a discount code. So when this video came out, she was not an affiliate of ours. But we simply offered her a discount for anybody that wants to purchase a solid wood top. Now, if you want to show them these cables, and basically what I want to show you guys with that is when you don't manage your cables or have them like properly set, and back up a little bit, it doesn't take much to, when your desk goes up, to trigger the anti-collision. Now that's a safety feature, and had these cables been nicely managed, and things like that don't happen, the desk would just go up all the way on its own. And so the frustrating thing is she never reached out to us about that. She reached out to us about a broken switch, which we got her replaced. But ultimately, when there was like an actual use case to test our customer service, she said that like she didn't even reach out to us. And she didn't even say that in the video either. So it's a little disappointing and disheartening, because I really love how we treat our customers. And to not even ask us, hey, my desk isn't working properly, what might be going on? It seems disingenuous to then put this on video saying it's left me craving more. When I texted her how many times this happened, she said 3 times. So in 3 years. The way I'm taking this video is that it's happening all the time, but clearly it's not.
Considering that we use it for filming all of our videos, it becomes a big headache dealing with the inconsistency of the motors. And the walnut table, while it looks gorgeous, is pretty tough to maintain. If you didn't know, wood is actually pretty fragile in that it gets scratched easily. Sometimes if you set down a product like a mechanical keyboard.
Okay, just to save the video length, I'm gonna go on. She talks about how the wood is, soft and can get damaged. Totally true. Not anything bad to say there. But again, that's the great thing about buying solid wood is you are spending a lot of money, but in 5 years, spend a couple $100, sand it down, recoat it, and you're good to go for another 5 years. But next segment of the desk is another FlexiSpot desk.
This is one I recently got from FlexiSpot. They wanted to sponsor an upcoming video for their new FlexiSpot E7 Plus.
That desk right there in her video is this one right here. This is not the FlexiSpot E7 Plus. This is the FlexiSpot E7 Plus Max. This, just the frame, is $699. Now what she's showing you on her website, or on the website, is the E7 Plus.
Plus is similar to a Deskhaus desk in that it comes with 4 legs. So ever since this one arrived, I've been pretty happy with it. The 4 legs are awesome because it makes the table ultra stable and it can get so tall without having to worry about it falling over. Like way taller than you'd ever need. The legs come in at $500.
The legs are not $500. These legs over here are $500. And we already know the E7 Plus. Let's just raise it up. Also, this is after 3 months. Hear that motor noise? That's after 3 months. We already know how unstable this is. And she just compared our Apex Pro, same thing, to that and said, hey, this desk I'm showing you in the video is half the price. It's not. This is their E7 Plus Max. And I know I can get how it can be a little confusing, and I can give her a little bit when you have E7 Plus, E7 Plus Max, E7Q, whatever, all this stuff. I get it can be confusing, but also I'm not being paid money to make a video on that. If I was being paid money to make a video on that, I would most likely know exactly what I'm doing. Come on.
Legs. So this final desk is one I recently got from FlexiSpot. They wanted to sponsor an upcoming video for their new FlexiSpot E7 Plus, which is nearly half the price of the Deskhaus legs. But for some reason, FlexiSpot sent over this tiny little 4 feet by 2 feet top, so the legs feel a little overkill for such a tiny desk. They barely fit. I also got the solid wood version of the desk, which is a little misleading in my opinion. While it's technically made of real wood that's solid, it's confusing because people will expect something like this Deskhaus walnut desk when they read solid wood. Instead, it's actually a butcher block style desk. Butcher block is basically you have a bunch of...
I mean, I get what she's saying there, but at the end of the day, our wood tops are wood planks glued together, just wide butcher block planks. So it still is, rubber wood is still a solid wood. It's just glued together in a butcher block form.
Strips of wood and then you glue them together to form a top. So this is a great way to buy a desk if you want something that's super sturdy and repairable, unlike laminate. But it's not just a big slab of wood like you would expect when you read solid wood. Not to mention the type of wood used is also a cheaper alternative too. It's made from something called rubber wood. The grain on rubber wood is pretty boring, and the wood itself is a little softer and easier to scratch than other types of wood, but it's still a fantastic option, especially for the price. So if you want a big sturdy desk, I'd go for the E7 Plus. And if you want to get one with a really nice solid wood top, I'd buy the solid top and then the frames from the E7 Plus separately and then combine them into your dream standing desk. But only if you're going the premium route.
So again, I think this is the most frustrating part for me, is she constantly says the E7 Plus when the desk that she's talking about, just the frame, is $699, which we have right here. That's $499. Now, if we take this frame, and we're going to do a full test of this later on, but this is just a video for today. But this frame right here with a 30 by 60 rubber wood top on it is about $1,000. I know I said Apex Pro earlier, sorry, this is our Peak Pro. But our Peak Pro with this top is $785. So if the whole point of our video is to, say, hey, use like the cheapest thing or this is the best value, well, she missed the mark because the best value would have been that right there.
Otherwise, I think a laminate desk from a brand like Vernal or even FlexiSpot is a great call. But before buying, always look up which one has the best price and our coupon codes, because there really isn't that much of a difference between all these desks.
And that right there just kind of seals it for me, because before buying, look at the price. There's obviously a big difference between what $4.99 gets you and what $7.85 gets you. And I don't know how much weight that is, but that's probably about the same weight. So you could be saying, well, that's got a desk on it. Well, this has 90 pounds on it. And then also, the most important thing, because I'm an influencer, use the discount codes. Why? Because I get paid when you use those codes. So that's why we don't really work with them, guys. We'd love to sponsor like really cool creators that do cool stuff, whether it's, I don't know, I build rocket ships or something, and they're not necessarily doing reviews of desks, because again, they're just going to review one desk, and then next week they're going to have another desk, and they're going to tell you how that one's better than the week before. We're always open to working with those people that do cool shit, and like if they're building rocket ships or they're boaters or I don't know, pilots or whatever, where like we're kind of in the background, we're all about sponsoring that, but we're not about doing this stuff. And go watch the video. I think you guys will see why. See you guys.